Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier Abbott and Costello preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Roger Norquist.
Nate Balding met the Wolfman, and the Wolfman dragged him back to his wolfish den, and Nate Balding got there and said, well, now this place is a disaster. And he helped him clean it up, and they bonded, and there was a whole like people let me tell you about my best friend thing happening while they were like washing dishes together. And now they're a couple, a duo, some would say, but they're towing the line. I've seen the way they look at each other. So Nate's not going to be here. He'll be exploring his new relationship with the Wolfman.
We support it as well. We want both parties to find love.
I only don't support finding love when it gets in the way of the important work we're doing here. Nate, pick it up. Seal the deal. Get back here. Put a rang on that thing and get back here. Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by the Monstroko Fridge Cop. Does someone keep eating all the peanut butter? Drinking all the OJ and then putting the carton back like a monster, an animal, a demon? Well, not anymore, they won't. Not while Detective PC Fridgingham Gaines is living in there, hiding, waiting, ready to shoot your fridge thief 37 times and blame it on the margarine. Fridge Cop by Monstroko. Who goes there?
I do feel like this would backfire on me in the middle of the night when I'm looking for my sweet cravings to keep the witch away.
Hey, look, man, Law and Order, you know? You know what you did? You know what you did when you signed Detective PC Fridgingham Gaines to live in your fridge? You knew the dark power that you bestowed upon him, the horrible responsibility of finding and perhaps subduing with bullet poisoning the person who's been stealing a little bit of peanut butter. He will kill. He's itching for it. You can tell. You can tell that Fridgingham Gaines, this is the last place they could put him.
The union's making him stay on the payroll, and this is the only place he could go.
Are we gonna get censored on YouTube for this?
No, we didn't say anything crazy.
Sure. We didn't talk about all the people he slew in quote self-defense and how they're hiding him here. So if you want an unstable, living, ticking time bomb protecting your snacks and cravings, hit up Monstroko. They'll get his district shifted over there real quick. They're really looking for a place to put this guy.
Well, that scares me.
Yep, and you know what?
May I go first?
It also scares whoever's been taking my string cheese.
This seems like Monstroko lets you design a product, and you're finally going to get the person stealing your string
Monstroko,
cheese.
Look, I may have written some letters. I think this is just, a happy coincidence. I was done with it. I was ready. I was sick to the point of vigilantism about who has been taking even a little bit of my food from the fridge. And Monstroko launched this product, and he actually knocked on the door. And I opened it. He said, "Freeze!" And I said, Fridgingham Gaines, get into the fridge. And he's in there. He sits in a easy boy in there, an easy chair, smoking and eating peanut butter off of his gun. Oh, maybe it's him who's eating the peanut butter.
Oh no.
Oh
Betrayal.
God, I just heard a shot ring out.
Corruption.
A single shot. Fridgingham realized that he couldn't live with the lie anymore.
Yeah.
That he had been eating the peanut butter. The Monstroko fridge crime scene cleaner-upper guys. Did you have a whole gritty crime-ridden arc play out inside your fridge? Try the new Monstroko crime scene cleaner-upper guys. All right, go ahead, Raj. I've been yapping for long enough on this particularly dense piece of Monstroko fiction.
It made me tear up with laughter multiple times, so it was worth it.
We've done it. We did it.
Over the past few weeks, I have been going over a number of UFO encounters, alien encounters in Spain. good old España. It started with, if you go back a couple episodes, I was talking about the first one that was a weird creature. Let me actually bring up the image so we can look at it. A glowing individual that was shot at up to 50 times.
Whoa. What's he doing in there?
By Spanish army men.
What I don't know. This looks like it's happening in a Jack Kirby comic.
It's around the height of the Jack Kirby time. Let's see.
Is that the Unstoppable Iron Man?
1976.
Wow. At Talavera Le Real Air Force Base.
Yeah, in Maderos.
Oh man, I went to college in La Real.
Here's where it was, right on the Portuguese border, because I only still assume that Portugal and Spain are locked in eternal war.
I don't know. I guess so. What's going on with that? How are you guys doing?
Portugal let us know in the comments.
Hit us up. Let us know how it's faring out. How it started, how's it going? Give us a how it started, how's it going?
So that is a phenomenal encounter that you can listen to if you go back on episodes. Long story short, they did not find any evidence of the creature that these people shot at, like footprints or whatever. They also didn't have any evidence that they fired their guns, although in an inspection of the guns, they did prove that they were fired, but there were no casings on the ground. There was no bullet head, the lead of the bullet anywhere. Yeah. It was just...
Oh, yes, we talked about this.
The evidence vanished. There was no evidence.
My theory was that they time corrected it.
They
went back.
It? Is that the movie?
Yes, exactly. They tenanted it.
They triple reverse entropied that shit.
Exactly. They went back to before the person who built those bullets was even born.
Eliminated him with extreme prejudice.
Yes, from his dad's balls.
And then the bullets that you, sir, are firing no longer exist.
Just never happened. You were shooting nothing at nothing.
This is like some Doctor Who shit to where like the only way to stop the war is to stop the protozoic germ that started all life on Earth, and you win the war.
You gotta watch fucking what is Sapphire and Steel. This is exactly the type of shit they're doing.
All right, everyone, write that down. We're all going to watch Sapphire and Steel this week, and we're going to talk about it next Sunday. Now, after this, there was like a slew of UFO sightings, a wave of UFOs. They were coming in off of the coast. We had one in Baracaldo, one in Medellin, one in another months before the Medellin one.
Okay.
Like a bunch of them. We have, I think, written here 10 different unique sightings all across Spain. And this isn't like seeing a UFO like in the distance, like what is that in the sky, but like what is that 20 feet off the ground?
Yeah.
It is rotating, has strange lights, and it is affecting the crops that I am currently standing in type shit. Like
weird.
Very close encounters.
Oh man, I started playing Death Stranding yesterday.
Yes.
Weird.
Your first time?
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, let me tell you, you're gonna want to poop a lot.
The reason way ahead of you, pal.
Okay, good. The reason I make grenades out of that.
The reason I thought about it is that when the hands start appearing next to people, like all the plant life dies around them.
Yes.
It's very cool.
It is something that we see in UFO sightings a decent amount, like where a UFO lands, where a extraterrestrial entity is standing, can have weird marks or be absent of growth, or like a ring of mushrooms around that spot, a fairy circle.
Do you think that if we were to go to, let's call it Plutarchia?
Sure.
What do you think that if we were to step on the grounds of Plutarchia and people were to see us and be like, plate, smart, port chart, and then we flew away, do you think there would be a ring where like our germs like touched the Plutarchian grasses?
I do. I think that is a very natural reaction. Either like our form of biology would be like toxic or like weirdly yummy to this foreign system, and it would leave an effect. I am a firm believer in that type of xenobiology. It makes a lot of sense to me in my layman brain on the subject.
We're covered in creatures. We're covered. A little squirming zoo of microbots.
What did my biology professor say way back in the day?
Now, this is our secret, Roger. Don't tell anyone. Was it that? Did he say that?
It was that voice, but she didn't say that exactly. She had a shirt for everything. And one day, to go over the epics of the epochs of the planet, she took off a shirt and explained it until this old lady was bare on the on the classroom floor,
and underneath she said, "This was the Precambrian, an era devoid of life and titties." She had them titties. They were hanging down into the Precambrian era. I don't know what I was.
She was an adorable teacher. A lot of stuff.
I just wanted to say titties, I suppose.
And it was a good use of your tit.
We all have a couple of those. My tit card for the week.
Yeah, your tit card. Thank you. We all
have some of those cool teachers who were, our own personal Miss Frizzles.
Yes, she was one of them. Yeah. And she explained that this planet is truly the planet of the bacteria and microorganism. Like, what are those things called? Tardigrades. Oh, yeah. There are multitudes more tardigrade on the planet than there will ever be any other life form.
Oh, something like the...
And then we are mostly... Did you see the one about the boy that was 90% bacteria? It was you, Jordan. Ah! We're mainly bacteria. Like our gut has bacteria. Yeah. All of our organs are, we're dirty little guys.
Truly. Or are we a wonderful collection of living organisms coming together to build its own god?
And we did. And his name is Zalthor.
And here he is. Man, it's I heard something that like the biomass of insects on the planet outnumbers humans by something like 10 million to 1 or something.
We're little guys on there. So I for sure
here's the thing.
We land on there even with protection.
I ain't seen no ants or no spiders or no tardigrades build no Las Vegas. I ain't seen them figure out the HTC Vive Pro 2 or whatever, the Valve headset. Shut up, VR.
Yeah, insects, get VR. Humans rule, then we spike a football down on their nest.
Yeah. Exactly.
But we would leave a residue. Even if we thought we had a clean spacesuit, it's clean by our standards, which might be totally different than another race's or another biology standard.
I don't even want to get into what my standard for a clean spacesuit would be. It is a low bar, dude.
Mine would be that nacho cheese is just gonna freeze in the vacuum of space, and then I can brush it off.
Yeah, show me a visor that doesn't have a little mustard on the inside. Show me John Glenn's visor, and there's mustard on the inside. I guarantee it. This is fine. It's fine. Everybody pees in their spacesuit. I know most of them have a bag that fills up with the pee, and mine's just loose peeing, free peeing, I call it. But I open the trap door and let all the liquids blast out into the void every once in a while. I call it going power toilet. I call it going number 5.
So this type of debate and full-blown encounters of the third kind were happening every day in Spain. like across the country, shit was being seen.
Wild
And
shit.
then-
People were having their laundry stolen by aliens. Pies cooling on the windows. They probably eat pies in Spain, huh? Paella cooling on the windowsill being stolen by Martians.
Is paella Spanish?
Spanish dish. It's the only thing I could think of, really.
I thought it
Delicious.
was.
Have you never had paella?
I have. I thought it was a more
Italian?
Pacific Asian thing.
No. Let's.
What am I thinking of?
Hang on.
Everyone
Stand by,
pause
everybody.
your
Welcome.
episode.
Welcome to Paella Radio. Paella Radar.
Let you share it.
Paella. Okay, yes, I got you.
I must see this dish.
Yes, please. Hang on. Can I share on
You
this?
should be
Yes.
able to.
Yes. Okay. Paella is a classic Spanish rice dish originating from the Valencia region, famous for their oranges. Maybe you've heard of their oranges.
I have.
Key features. The main ingredients are rice, saffron, tomatoes, and a variety of meats, seafoods, and vegetables. So it does have a very European fried rice energy going on, which is
So
understandable.
I just cook rice with a lot of good shit.
Yeah, they plant like shrimps and mussels and like pieces of ham and bacon and chicken and stuff into the rice and like let it steam in the pan, and it all cooks in there, and it's great.
I'm making paella tonight, everyone.
Yeah, it's really good.
So after all of these UFO sightings and I can only assume many wonderful nights of beautiful looking paella, now let's go into this Michelin Man encounter that happened in the early summer of 1960. This actually predates the UFO flap in Spain. And it encounters someone we've talked about before, the Michelin Man, but let's rehash this very interesting locale of UFO encounters and alien encounters that have been going back for decades. Now, according to an account in the June 1980 APRO bulletin by one Miguel Pedro Garcia, a school teacher, Don Miguel Termermans, I don't know why that word that's so simple is breaking me, but it is, Caballos, was riding his motorcycle in the Cadiz region of the country at around 1 p.m. in the afternoon when he noticed a truly bizarre humanoid figure approximately 50 feet in front of him. He would recall how the entity was between 6 to 7 feet tall and was completely red from head to foot. He said that the figure walked like a mechanical doll, as though he was having great difficulties taking steps. By that point, Miguel had brought his motorcycle to a stop in order to get a steadier view of this bizarre figure. To his amazement, he watched the robot-like being and a second identical figure, although somewhat shorter, appear on the roadside near the first one, and then proceeded to follow it. And let's take a look at this wonderful creature. And there's a reason why he is called the Michelin Man. He looks like the 1950s version of, well, pretty much all versions.
Yeah.
But specifically this one that I'm thinking about, let me get rid of this one. We're looking to see who owns the rights of Abbott and Costello for no reason.
We're not going to buy them. We're not going to remake it
into an awesome new movie for Gen A plusers.
Whoa.
What, right?
Those future monsters. Whoa, look at them. Extraterrestrials.
This is the one that I'm thinking about specifically. The one smoking the cigar.
God, I love that. I love that as an advertising gimmick.
It was part of it. It was
Hello,
all like,
I am the Michelin Man. I've got a big cigar just like you. I'm a regular Joe, but built of tires spelt with a Y.
Compared to what we have now, I mean, this Michelin Man's all buff, but he isn't no cigar smoker.
Yeah, he's not smoking a cigar. They figured out his face to make it not horrifying. And now in the one that you just clicked back there, where he was like a statue, right? Like that one right there, that Michelin Man fucks.
Yes.
They made him fuckable.
There he is, crossing his legs like some sort of tease.
Fucking downright coquettish. My man is demure.
So that's what not the sexual version of it. I say round one, but that's
no. They found these hot aliens. these BBW plumpers out in the woods.
And let's continue on with that. And once again, this is from UFOinsight.com on their article about specifically the Talavera Le Real Air Force encounter.
Yep.
By that point, Termamons had brought his motorcycle to a stop. He wanted to get a better view. He saw the second creature. He later recalled that the second figure had a black boot, as you might remember seeing on that image.
Yeah, what's up with that?
On one of his feet. Although he could not recall which one it was, one of the feet seemed to be black. Then, with the school teacher not daring to take his eyes off from the pair, they cross over the roadway. Due to the road being mostly of white earth, the garments and general shape was remarkably clear for the witness. He would recall clearly seeing the ringed outlines that gave them the shape of that typical Michelin Man. He was like the one from the ads.
Yes.
Those Cubans.
The main guy. Hello, friends. I've got a cigar.
It goes on to say that he was aware that he might be putting himself in danger. He decided to get a closer look and restarted his motorcycle. He crept up forward, eventually reaching the start of the highway's incline. However, much to his surprise, the two figures were now completely gone. He would estimate that the entire incident lasted for about 30 seconds.
Wow. Whale.
Indeed.
Whale.
He contemplated leaving his bike and searching, but because he was alone, he decided to not do that. Probably a smart move. That's how you get abducted. Always travel in pairs, so both of you get abducted. Incidentally, it says that there were other Michelin Men sightings in other parts of the world as well.
Weird. There was a fleet of them.
There was a fleet of them.
Now, I got to tell you, I think the Michelin Man sightings, this sounds like a suit to me.
A suit?
Right?
Something like we would build. I could see us building like a suit, like we didn't know exactly how a atmosphere would react or some shit, or we wanted to put extra padding on there. And I could see that happening.
What if you were a time alien?
Okay.
You know, from the distant year.
From my fantasy.
Glorka 100. And you're like, there, you know, the high crystal is like, we must send you back, Rajotron, from Gen A++. You must get Pringles 7-layer dip flavored to save the humankind. They don't make them anymore here in the future. And so they send you back, and you have to wear like a past protecting shield suit to protect you from the past germs. From the chronotons that would make you, you know, like in a time fall,
okay,
it would make you grow old. And they're like, we've decided to make it look like the Michelin Man, an ancient tire god, so that anyone who sees you won't believe it happened. Or they'll think they're just making a sighting of their primitive tire god. They will shower you with offerings of free air pressure tests and free pressurized air at the pump.
So I was able to find, and all that.
Oh, Roger, you're still here.
Sorry, I was finding sightings of the Michelin Man, and I was overwhelmed a little bit.
Oh shit, you found
now
Michelin
that your
Man
character
Central.
wasn't very solid.
Thank you. Yes.
We have one that happens on the island of Reunion in the Indian Ocean. In an area known as Le Plain des Cafres.
Le Plan de Cafre.
And that happened on June 31st, 1968 at around 9 o'clock.
Oh, oui, oui.
It goes on to say, I was at the kilometer 21 mark in a small clearing in the middle of the forest of acacia trees. That morning, I was bending down and picking up some grass for my rabbits when suddenly I saw sort of an oval-shaped cabin in the clearing.
Uh-oh.
It was 25 meters from me, and as though suspended at a height of 4 or 5 meters from the ground. The extremities of it were dark blue, the center part lighter, more transparent rather than like the windscreen of a Peugeot 404.
Peugeot. It's a car that they make in France.
Gross.
Yeah.
Above and below it had what looked like 2 glass feet and shining metal.
Ugh. Puke.
In the center of the cabin were 2 individuals with their backs toward me.
Horrifying.
The one from the left turned right around and so faced me. He was standing, small, about 90 centimeters in height.
Okay.
What is that, like 45 inches?
I don't know. Get with it, Europe.
Enveloped from head to feet in a sort of one-piece overall, a bit like the suit worn by the Michelin Man. And then the dramatic cue, dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. To finish it off with us, the one on the right simply turned his head towards me, but all the same, I had time to catch a glimpse of his face, which was partly masked by some sort of helmet. Then both turned their backs to me, and there was a flash as strong as the electric arc of a welding machine.
Weird.
Pretty bright, too.
That's pretty strange.
Everything around went white. A powerful heat was given off, and then it was sort of a blast of wind, and a few seconds later, there was nothing there anymore.
Ooh.
Tells his wife about it. The object was 4 to 5 meters. It says in diameter, and it was about 2.5 meters measured through from top to bottom. Little tight compartment there.
Sure.
And I mean, like, I can reach 2.5 meters easily. Like, I'm doing that arm bent.
Yeah.
I got some long arms.
Yeah, this is true.
It's and I am wishing for a space travel, Jordan, to where I got plenty of room. I want arched ceilings in my spaceship.
I understand.
But it's going to be cramped at first.
Yeah. Like all spaceships, we've all played Subnautica.
I am waiting for it to go on sale.
Oh, it's so good.
I will play it.
Very good. It's very good and good.
There is one that happens that I'm skipping over in March 14th, 1976. A married couple were driving on the Castilian region of Spain. And same thing, they see some weird stuff and something white floats over their car. And then they see the Michelin Man.
They see Michi
in their headlights standing in front of them. This next one is a slightly longer one, but it's more detailed and comes from 2015. Was when it was reported. I do apologize. I said that misleadingly.
Sure.
And it actually happens in 1971. The host of a arcane radio received a letter stating that, hello, when I was in my early teens, I witnessed something that I've never been able to explain. This happened in northern Minnesota. Go Timberwolves.
All right.
That's what I call everyone who's up from up there. They hate it.
Which I love.
I was in the woodlot behind the barn around 9 p.m. It was in July 1971, and I was out there with my collie dog, Bonnie. Bonnie started barking and running toward the far edge of the woods. I called for her, but she continued running. I started to chase after her. As I got nearer to the small field, Bonnie was laying down, looking towards the sky. I looked in the same direction and saw a bright light coming toward us. The light got brighter and larger. Bonnie barked a few more times and ran back into the woods. She was scared. Well, I was scared also. The light was hovering above me. I felt paralyzed. I wanted to run, but I just couldn't move. I looked at the light and started to make out a shape. I have always said that it was a balloon man. Its body was round in the body and segmented arms and legs, similar to this Michelin Man type.
Yeah.
The head was a bright yellow light. I couldn't see a face, just a blinding light.
Weird.
It hovered for a minute, then moved toward me. It was right in front of me. I'd say it was 8 feet tall and very wide. There was an intense heat coming from it also. I had trouble breathing and was very uncomfortable. Then it started to hover and circle around me. I thought I was going to pass out, and then suddenly it just disappeared. As soon as it did, I dropped to the ground and started shivering. I could move, but I was so cold and felt weak and sick.
Strange.
I laid there for a long time. That is the overall encounter. Afterwards, they were sick in bed for a week. Supposedly, the doctor at the time deduced that they were maybe having a severe reaction to poison sumac.
Oh, weird.
But that is, I think, just an explanation of what it could have been. You know, sumac in the area, and all of a sudden you're having a very bad reaction. I had a sore red rash on my face and arms. The writer thinks that the balloon man burned me somehow and had weakened me.
Weird.
Indeed.
Very strange.
The mom was confused by some of this. They didn't have poison sumac on their property.
Okay.
But she did not question the doctor. Never told anyone about my contact until writing this letter. Was it a UFO or alien? Jordan, expert advice. I'm going Michelin Man, so you just know where I'm at.
I think it's a Michelin Man. I think it's a Michelin Man spotted in the wild.
And that's going to do it, I think, then for my segment that I'm going to call El Michelin Hombre.
El Hombre de Michelin. Okay, I will take the speaking skull from the...
yeah, I forgot to remove from the box. God dang it, I'm cursed this week.
And I will remove it from the apportation box where it has apportated. It bit me a little bit. That's fine. I'll get that blessed later on. News from Orb World. The orb has returned. For those of you who may remember, an orb was discovered zigzagging through the sky over the town of Buga, Colombia. It fell gently down into the bushes where somebody picked it up and put their hands and their whole body all over it, despite the fact that it was most probably very radioactive. And
it was steaming water, but not hot. That's nothing you should be next to.
It's covered in 4 or 5 different sort of kinds of runes, so you know that it's from aliens. It is an iron sphere that has now been X-rayed and studied by top science guys in Colombia, and Dr. Jamie Masson is involved. Dr. Jose Luis Velasquez, a radiologist who examined the sphere, reported finding, quote, no welds or joints, which could typically indicate human fabrication. The object was recovered shortly after it landed and has since been analyzed by scientists who discovered it. It features layers of a metal-like material and 18 microspheres surrounding a central nucleus they are calling a chip. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here so you guys can become enthused by the images, as I was. The sphere also displays symbols that the team compared to ancient scripts, including runes, Ogham, and Mesopotamian writing systems, which is, you know, if I were making
click that link, show me the runes. As someone who studied historical linguistics as a hobby for all of my collegians,
this is nothing. This is just a link to mysterious glowing orbs coming from mothership off Florida coast.
Okay, Daily Mail, this isn't how you link things in stories.
Don't listen to him, Daily Mail. You're doing important work.
There were some mysterious runes on there.
There are runes, and we'll see them again. Here you go.
But I don't see where it's Mesopotamian.
Right. The problem,
like, you're familiar with Afro-Semitic languages and what came before, the Akkadian and Sumerian languages. Like, I can't read them,
I am,
but
as
I know.
As long as you have no follow-up questions.
But what I see there is not like anything I'm familiar with in my layman's studies of it.
What I'm seeing here, as someone who routinely draws monsters and specters and alien artifacts for my D&D campaign.
Yes.
What I'm seeing here is someone who was doing a little too much. You could have gone with one of the runes, but you went with too many. You could have gone with Ogham or Mesopotamian or, a third thing, but you went with all of them. And that's it's just messy. We call it in the biz, they call it double mumbo jumbo. You got a hat on a hat. The zombies can also be aliens. You're asking me to believe too many things.
The next sentence is insane. I'll let you continue.
Using AI to assist in deciphering the design, the team interpreted the message to read, quote, the origin of birth through union and energy in the cycle of transformation, meeting point of unity, expansion, and consciousness, individual consciousness. I'll read that again for anyone who didn't understand it.
You're going to be reading it for a while for me.
So ostensibly an alien sent this, and it would walk up to you and wants to say the following to you. The origin of birth through union and energy in the cycle of transformation, meeting point of unity, expansion, and consciousness, individual consciousness. That's the message.
And I would be like, sir, this is a Wendy's.
Then you get fucking vaporized. You get turned into green dust in the middle of this Wendy's.
I mean, that's a rough translation, and translation is art. Let me give them the benefit of the doubt. This isn't an artist going too deep, as you said.
They say, we interpret it as a message to humanity, encouraging a collective shift in consciousness to help Mother Earth, especially considering the current issues with pollution and environmental decline, the researchers said.
I just disagree, and here's why. let's bring evidence of things we've done before.
Mhm.
We didn't put this shit on the Voyager or whatever
The
one we
Voyager
shot
put
out
this
there.
shit on us.
And then I looked down at my wrist. I'm like, oh no, the tattoo's glowing.
That's pretty fucking cool, though. That's a cool tattoo. The stuff on the Voyager. Damn, that's good.
But like I would assume that this would be closer to that. To be like, hello, here's who sent this. Here's what we look like.
Return to sender.
Return to sender if you can, with your own message, Here's
a list of our weaknesses and what our wieners look like.
Here's some music we fuck to.
Yeah.
See, I just fuck to the hello in all the languages on repeat.
My favorite fuck jam is "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Second only to "Happy Birthday" on repeat.
It's our favorite song. More humans listen to that.
That's true.
Than any other song.
That is objectively our favorite song. The object was recovered on March 2 by a group of people who said it weighed about 4.5 pounds and had, quote, the temperature of a refrigerator when touched.
So
David Velez
temperature?
Inside of a refrigerator.
Okay.
One of the individuals who recovered the object recently spoke on Masan Television, hosted by journalist ufologist Jamie Masan, whose research has stirred controversy for nearly a decade. For those of you who don't know, Jamie Masan is the guy who will occasionally be like, the pyramids were built by Big Bird, and then get in the news for it.
And he's very earnest. And
earnest.
That's not him. He does say shit like that. He's the one who's finding alien bodies. He's going to whatever market he can go and just buying whatever alien bodies they got.
He's the guy who got the alien mummies a couple of years ago, and they gave them to the Mexican government, and the government was like, yeah, I don't know, it seems like there's bones in there. And so currently they're like, those are still like in the process of being debunked, I would say. And maybe what's happening is exactly what I've always feared. Maybe I'm so in the world of debunking that when it actually happens, when we find spheres and bodies, I'm like, lame, fart sound, wrong.
And I'm all for it. But when you tell me that you can translate whatever you just showed me there, I'm all like, I need to see your work on this.
Yeah. Masson gained attention in 2017 when he claimed to have discovered alien mummies in Peru, which we just talked about. But Velez El Potro has claimed that the sphere is authentic, found in the woods of Buga. He told Masson that the man who found it, Jose, felt sick for days after touching the object, which also reinforces my criticism of the video of the woman just pouring water all over it. And
it was really
look,
neat,
crazy, huh? However, there are no official... Wait a minute. When I poured water on it, it started to smoke and the water vaporized instantly, Velez El Potro added, suggesting the interior was hot and exterior cold. Interesting. However, there are no official reports or scientific analysis to claim spheres falling over Buga, only eyewitness reports. Velez El Potro said the government contacted him to hand it over, but he refused, saying it would never be seen again. So these are some pictures that
that one with him holding is pretty badass.
We'll come back to. Yeah, that's pretty cool. He helped find the sphere and was the most photographable. This we'll come back to, but the object was recovered shortly after it landed, has been since analyzed by scientists who discovered it features 3 layers of metal-like material and 18 microspheres within. That's what we're looking at here. This is the area they're calling the chip.
Way less gross than what I was thinking.
Surrounding a central nucleus, they're calling the chip. So he gave it to Masson. Researchers found the sphere had irregular edges, indicating that it's a solid object. The outer layer appeared to be the densest, comparable to human bone.
Nice, so we can break this shit open.
Weird. The center of the sphere shows a lower radioacoustic density than the edge, indicating an internal structure that may be more porous or composed of less dense material than the outer shell, said Nacho Rojo, host of the YouTube channel Hidden Truth, during the interview with Masson. The findings suggest that the outer layer could be made of titanium or steel,
Nice, you gotta say tit again.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, I don't think it counts because I'm trying to sneak it past the censors. Don't talk about it. But researchers noted that a full composition analysis is needed to confirm this. X-rays also revealed 18 small dots within the center of the object, arranged in what appeared to be a non-random pattern. The team speculated that the 18 points could be sensors, bolts, or fragments of microspheres. Obviously, we don't know the composition or how it is manufactured, but it appears to be an object intentionally built to house these small metallic components internally, Rojo said, referring to insights shared during the X-ray analysis. A team of scientists recently analyzed the sphere. Here they are analyzing the sphere. You can see them. This guy's got an electronic analyzing box. This is a central band composed of a different material, contains more small spheres. They believe these two have been placed inside the object before it was sealed. So this is the band. This is, as you can see, the kind of central equator of that object. Looks a little off-center. I don't know if it's just being X-rayed off-center or what's going on there. The team identified 3 layers within the sphere. They suggested the outer layer could be made of titanium or steel, as we said. Scientists are currently referring to the 18 points as a chip due to their precise arrangement and location within the sphere. The symmetry suggests advanced technology or deliberate engineering, said Rojo. He also noted that these 18 points show no signs of fracture, meaning the object remains structurally intact. X-rays revealed that the points extend approximately 0.5 centimeters into the interior of the sphere. Additionally, the team observed a central band composed of a different material which contained more small spheres. They believe these may have been placed inside before the object was sealed. We already talked about that. No visible signs of assembly techniques. So there you have it. There's your sphere update. All hail the sphere.
All hail the sphere.
The sphere is still going strong, y'all. This
is a lot of new developments for sure.
They're still saying it's a sphere. It's still sphere-shaped. If this was an episode of television, it would have transformed into something by now. But that's where we're at with the sphere. I did want to talk to you briefly about the idea that these UFOs...
Sure.
There was a recently sort of leaked CIA document that talked about UFOs being a living creature.
I've thought of this as well. I'm a big proponent of the living spaceship theory.
Yeah. I wanted to read this to you guys. We don't have a lot of time to get way into it, but dang it, now I've lost yeah, here it is. Great. This is from SERP, Scientific Research, an academic publisher, from the Journal of Modern Physics. Unidentified anomalous phenomena, extraterrestrial life, plasmoids, shapeshifters, replicons, thunderstorms, lightning, hallucinations, aircraft disasters, and ocean sightings.
That's pretty much everything I'm interested in.
Yeah. So this is the abstract of the article that I read that sort of I wanted to talk about this today. I've been wanting to bring it up since I came across it, but it's sort of a direct contradiction of what the Buga sphere enthusiasts are telling us, which is, or maybe we've got both things going on. Who knows? Maybe our skies are filled with traffic that we couldn't possibly understand. So this is the breakdown. Abstract. As documented by NASA Space Shuttle films and detailed in this report, self-illuminating, pulsating, plasma-like UAP/UFO, heretofore referenced as plasmoids, have multiple shapes and sizes, are attracted to electromagnetic activity and travel at different velocities from different directions, making 90 to 180 degree turns, as well as colliding, intersecting, and piercing other plasma.
Okay.
You know what that means.
They're fucking.
And have been filmed by U.S. Navy personnel and a U.S. Customs Border Protection DHC-8 flying above and diving/sinking beneath the ocean. Sound familiar? They've also been filmed by NASA, following, circling, and hovering near space shuttles, satellites, and the Mir International Space Station, and congregating above and descending into thunderstorms in the lower atmosphere, which is the air corridor favored by commercial and military aircraft. Not the thunderstorm, but the lower atmosphere.
You just go faster when it's thunder.
I just get more of a charge, man. It's the only way I can finish anymore. Shouldn't you be flying the plane? So this may account for reports of UAPs following, harassing, chasing, and, quote, toying with aircraft. Plasmas also have explosive properties.
They do?
They negatively affect electronics and mental activity, possibly inducing hallucinations of, quote, alien abductions. They can pass through glass, plastic, metal, and enter the cockpits of airplanes, and have been observed by astronauts inside their spacecraft.
Fascinating. Is this also possibly then your Foo Fighters?
Yes,
your
Doug. Yes.
Your even maybe like what happened in Nuremberg back in the day, the wood carving, like some very bizarre.
Let's read on,
lighting
shall we?
Effects. Yes.
They've been seen inside their spacecraft, the Mir, and the ISS. It is hypothesized that given their propensity to collide, plasmoids may be responsible for at least some unexplained, inexplicable aircraft disasters. Yikes. Thunder lightning storms are the main drivers of Earth's GEC, which I'm assuming is geoelectrical current, and direct positive currents in the ionosphere, which attract plasmas. The troposphere also has a huge positive charge, and the ocean's surface under white water and turbulent conditions develops a positive charge. We hypothesize this accounts for sightings of UAP in the lower atmosphere and soaring above and diving into the oceans, including, as reported here, shape-shifting UAP replicons that split into or generate additional shape-shifting UAPs, as filmed by NASA and U.S. Customs. Plasmoids appear to purposefully interact and engage in complex behaviors, and it is suspected they are sentient and represent a fourth domain of life.
That's so crazy.
Although plasmas in the lower atmosphere may be responsible for UAP sightings over the centuries, including those that appear to, quote, battle over cities or follow and harass military ships, planes, plasmoids cannot account for all UAPs, which may include extraterrestrial spacecraft from other worlds.
Is this also then like a good explanation for that for the UFOs that the Navy were seeing? Remember that?
Kind of. They have different kinds is the problem. Some of them seem like these plasmoids, and then some of them seem like nuts and bolts craft, you know? The gimbal footage jumps to mind. The Tic Tac.
Tic Tac.
But yeah, that's kind of the tip of the iceberg on plasmoids. We're going to be getting into them a lot this year, but things are happening. Keep watching the skis, everybody.
Watch the skis.
That does it for another episode of Werewolf Radar. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your continued support of the show. If you really liked what you heard here today and it's your first time, please go give us 5 stars wherever downloaded podcasts are downloaded. And please consider joining us over on patreon.com/werewolfradar. You can help us out with a small financial donation, and we try to get you as often additional content as we can. Check us out on Twitch. We're sometimes there playing the video games, playing the D&D.
And the YouTubes.
Check us out wherever wherever social media is happening. Yeah, it's, like we always say, it's harder to not find Werewolf Radar on the internet than it is to find it. So go ahead and like and subscribe, everybody. We will be back until next week. As ever, our sign-off line. Please say it together with us on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky,
Spaceman Joe.